March Madness is the best time of year. We have 64 college basketball teams all competing with one goal in mind: to raise that NCAA championship trophy in the end. We've seen 16 seeds upset 1 seeds. In fact, we saw it last year when Fairleigh Dickinson defeated Purdue in the first round. We've seen crazy Cinderella runs from low-seeded teams like Loyola Chicago, but who will make history this year? All right, guys, so today we are going to be filling out our March Madness bracket. Now, last year I filled mine out. This was on a different channel. This is my channel called Solo 2.0, where I used to upload stuff like this. And I took the route of being like an expert. When I did watch a few college basketball games, but I wasn't sitting around every night watching college basketball games. So I just put out the title like expert picks for March Madness or something like that. And some of y'all might remember, obviously everyone had Purdue winning. If we look at the bracket from last year, Purdue, the 1 seed, ended up losing to the 16 seed Fairleigh Dickinson in the first round. And I, just like everybody else, said there's no way Purdue loses this game. I end up in a TikTok compilation with all of the experts. I don't know how I kind of do because I put it in the title, but this dude made a compilation. It blew up, got like, I don't even know, 5 to 10 million views with, you know, all these CBS analysts, ESPN, all these guys. And then I'm just in the video. Like, so we're not going to go that route. We're not going to say that I'm a March Madness expert because I'm not. This is an NBA channel. I don't even know if y'all are going to watch this video, but I know March Madness is fire. And a lot of people, including myself, love to watch March Madness. So I'll give y'all the best tips that I can. Do you want to copy me? Maybe. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But what we know is that crazy things happen, okay? So I don't want y'all to go in the comments and freak out because I have, you know, UAB beating San Diego State, and I don't even know if I'm going to do that. So just act like that didn't happen. We're going to get to that in a second. I can't even erase it. So I guess we got to leave that for now. But don't freak out because crazy things happen. And just because a team has a 1 next to their name does not mean that they're just going to win. Okay. So I think that a lot of people factor that in and favor those high seeds a little bit too much. Now, a website that I do recommend that you guys use is going to be KenPom when filling out your brackets. KenPom.com. This shows you pretty much the best teams based on the numbers. So Auburn is a 4 seed, but they're technically the 4th best team when you factor in, adjusted offense efficiency and adjusted defense efficiency. You could also see, right here, the best offensive teams and defensive teams. So Houston, that's a pretty solid offensive team, but they're 2nd on defense. Connecticut, UConn, number 1 offensive team. Auburn, a very well-rounded team, 10th on offense and 4th on defense. So yeah, you guys can use this website. It's something that I use every single year. And then something else that's interesting is last year, the Final Four had a 5 seed San Diego State taking on a 9 seed FAU, and a 5 seed Miami taking on a 4 seed, which was UConn. And we had a 5 versus 4 in the final. So, I mean, is that going to happen again? Is it going to be that crazy? Probably not. So let's just get it started. And again, I did do my research, so I'm not completely winging it. But again, I'm not a college basketball expert. So we're going to start off with UConn. I will not be predicting any 1 seed to lose. That's just very rare. It did happen last year, but I'm just not doing it again. UConn, the number 1 team in the country. I mean, do we got to talk? We'll talk about them later when they're actually in a competitive game. Next up, FAU and Northwestern. This is a very interesting, very close game that could really go either way. And I believe it's the first game of the tournament. You guys can see it's at like noon on Thursday. So a lot of brackets are going to be busted off like the first game because this is an 8-9 game. A lot of people have FAU and a lot of people have Northwestern. It's going to be split. And the way that I decided to go with this is I did go with FAU. I know a lot of people go with Northwestern. Again, don't tweak out on me in the comments because, oh my God, he's picking FAU. We don't know what's going to happen. We can try and do our research and try and guess, and you know what I'm saying? But don't freak out if I have a pick differently than you, because let's be honest, I'm not going to have a perfect bracket and you're not going to have a perfect bracket. So I did go with FAU, something that I look at a lot. You can look at the players. I know John L. Davis is pretty good, but I'm not too into the players as much as I am into the team and the team chemistry. And something I look at a lot is their recent games, especially against top teams. They do have a win against Arizona that was in December. So this is something that I look at a lot. I guess it didn't really factor in too much for this game. Am I going to be wrong? Possibly, but Northwestern recently has done very poorly against these top teams. So this is a 50-50 game. I don't know which way it's going to go. And I'm going to try to go a lot quicker because I don't want this video to be too long. This game, 5-12 San Diego State. And by the way, FAU was in the Final Four last year. So was San Diego State. And then also Auburn. Wait, no, not Auburn. Who is it? UConn. That's what I meant to say. UConn, FAU, and San Diego State. So these three right here were all in the Final Four. And they're somehow all in the same just region. Like, this is a crazy region right here. A lot of people have their winner coming out of the East region. So San Diego State, UAB. I will go with an upset here. We're going to see some 5-12 upsets, some 6-11 upsets. Those are very popular picks. And I'm going to start it off here with UAB. I made my bracket actually yesterday. So with a lot of these, I did the research, but I possibly, forgot why I picked them. But trust me, I looked into it, and this is one of the upsets that I like. We're going with UAB. Auburn over Yale. That's an easy pick for me. I'm an Auburn fan. If you guys didn't know, going back to, I don't know, probably 2010-ish, 2011. Do I watch all of their games? No, I don't. We'll talk more about Auburn, when we get into more of a competitive game. But when Auburn plays teams that are worse than them, they pretty much beat them every single time. And again, this is one of the best teams in the nation. Auburn, 10th offense, 4th on defense. I think they're the only team that's top 10 in both offense and defense. A lot of people have the Dukes in this game, the 11 seed. A lot of people like them as a little Cinderella team, so you could see that. I like BYU a lot. I think they have a lot of, I like their games. I think, they're in a good conference. I think that helps out a lot when you play a lot of good teams, throughout the regular season or whatever, and they did that. They have big wins also against, Kansas, Baylor, Iowa State, close loss to Houston, close loss to Baylor. So I like that. I like that resume when I see a team that plays a lot of tough teams. I think that helps out a lot. Illinois, Morehead State. I have heard some rumors, some people potentially like Morehead State for the upset here. I'm not going to do it though. We're going to go with Illinois, Washington State, and Drake. I know a lot of people like Tucker DeVry or whatever. I don't know how to say his last name. Tucker something. Yeah, him. He was going crazy, all year, and last March Madness, a lot of people talked about him, but I'm not going to pick him. I'm not a guy that is going to pick a lot of teams just because they got this one guy that I'm a fan of, or you know what I'm saying? Because I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. I think it matters a lot more with team chemistry, more so than just like one dude that can give you 30. Like, you know what I'm saying? Iowa State, South Dakota State. We're going to go with Iowa State. Now, we are going to finish this little region here before we move on to the other ones, just because I don't know. I just feel like it's better that way. UConn, FAU. I'm going to go with UConn. Again, am I being a little biased because they do have a 1 next to their name? I don't know. They're the best team in the nation. Number 1 offense, number 12 defense. They won last year. I know the team's not the same. I believe last year they had Jordan Hawkins and Adama Sanogo. Pretty sure. Don't have them anymore, so it's a different team, which maybe that allows them to repeat. If it was the same exact team, maybe that makes it so it's harder. I don't know, but we are going to go with UConn there, and we will go with Auburn again. Auburn just kind of beats up on the teams that are worse than them, so I feel like this is a very likely Sweet 16 here between UConn and Auburn. Possibly San Diego State could go on a run. Maybe I don't know, but I like this right here a lot. Now, this is where it's going to get a little crazy. Y'all might think I've been pretty chalky, but we are going to go with BYU again. And a reason why? I really like their schedule. I think they're a team that has played a lot of very good teams like Illinois. And this is one of the picks that is starting to scare me because I think Illinois is a good team and they could go on a run. Will we see Illinois versus, UConn potentially in the Elite Eight? Maybe. But there's going to be upsets and they're hard to predict. I'm going to go with BYU. I will be picking Iowa State in this one, although I do know some people that are going with Washington State. Now, let's start up top. UConn and Auburn. Now, a lot of people are going to like Auburn a lot, especially when you look at KenPom because they're the 4 seed or whatever. They're the 4th best overall. I've watched them this year. I just don't get that like, I don't get a good feeling when I watch them. Like, yeah, they beat up on the tough teams. When they go up against great teams like a UConn, they don't really get it done. I don't really love them this year. And that's coming from an Auburn fan. Again, I don't watch all their games, but I'm just telling y'all what I can. And so we will be going with UConn. I will be rooting for Auburn, but I don't like it that much at all. I think Auburn got a brutal draw here in this little region. BYU, Iowa State. Let's stick with it. I'm pretty sure Iowa State's a really good defensive team. Yeah, they're #1 defensive team. But if we look at BYU, they're the 11th offensive team. So really good offense, one of the best. 50th on defense. And then where is Iowa State? 57th offense. So, I mean, I like it. Top offense, BYU going up against the top defense. I'm going with BYU. Let's do it. And then we will go with UConn to the Final Four. Let's switch regions. So let's go down to the bottom. Let's go to the West. Let's go to the West region. So we got UNC taking on Wagner. Again, we're not picking any 16 seeds. The gap between a 1 and a 16 is just too big. It's too risky to take it. Yeah, maybe I'll make some brackets where teams are losing in that game, but not in my real one. Mississippi State, Michigan State. A lot of people go with Michigan State to get this iconic matchup between UNC and Michigan State. I'm going with Mississippi State in this one. I think they're favored. I was looking at the odds, the betting odds. I'm pretty sure Mississippi State is favored, and they are also a team that has played a ton of top teams. They got a few wins against them. Michigan State also does. I mean, this is a coin flip for me. We're going Mississippi State. St. Mary's, Grand Canyon. Now, I've seen some experts and some people, put St. Mary's pretty far. I've seen them, go as far as taking out UNC and going far. But I'm going to go with Grand Canyon. We're going to have a 5-12 upset. I'm pretty sure Grand Canyon, they don't play a lot of good teams here. But when I did my research, I decided to go with it. I decided this is going to be one of my upsets. Tying Grant Foster, 20-point per game scorer. And that's going to be one of them. Do I like it? It's hard to like upsets, You're going to like a few of them, but some you're going to be like, I don't know. But there's going to be upsets. So this is going to be one of them. Alabama is a team that I like a lot. If we go back to KenPom, Alabama is 13th overall, 3rd best offense. And if you guys don't know anything about Alabama, if we look at their, stats here, they put up numbers. They put up 95 against Kentucky. Kentucky putting up 117 is absurd, but they put up, 90s pretty consistently. What do they average? I think we can see 91 points per game. Unreal. They do give up a lot of points per game, though. They're one of the worst, defensive teams, but we will go with Alabama there. Could they lose? Yeah, potentially. New Mexico, I like a lot. Clemson has not been good as of late. They have not looked great. And New Mexico has looked really great. And I believe they're also the odds on favorite to win this matchup. So, the people putting money on this, like New Mexico to win this game straight up. So I'm going to go with that. And we're going to have a little 6-11 upset right here. Baylor should win. They're another team like Auburn that, beats up on the bad teams and kind of struggles against the good teams. Colgate, not looking too great this year from what I've seen. Nevada, another one that is favored to win, although they are a lower seed. We have a 10-7 upset. Dayton, another team, doesn't look good, especially lately, have not looked good. If they go on a run, then I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's going to happen. If it happens, clip this, come back to this video. I don't know. It's just not, I don't see it happening. Some people are a little weary of Arizona. They have Caleb Love, who used to, go to UNC. Omar Ballo, really good big man. I like him a lot. Arizona, a team that's always in the mix. We're going to go with them. UNC, Mississippi State. I'm going to go with UNC. Is Baycott going to get it done? RJ Davis and them? We'll see. But we're going to go with UNC in that one. And of course, am I being a little too chalky? Our 1 seed's going to go out early? Maybe. We'll see. There is one 1 seed that I don't love, which we'll get to in a second. Grand Canyon, Alabama. This is another game where I just feel like Alabama might go on a run. And as them, with them being one of those top offenses, I'm just going to take the risk. I'm just going to say that they get hot in the tournament. And if we take a look at their recent games, it hasn't looked too good lately. So that didn't back me up. But we're going to go with Alabama as one of our teams to kind of go on a run. And we'll just get it out of the way now. I'm going to have Alabama beating UNC. UNC is a team a lot of people like. It's a team I like a lot just because of the players they have. I I like to watch those big name players, and UNC has some of them. But we're gonna take a risk here. We're gonna say Alabama knocks out, you know, UNC in a game that is like 94-87 or something like that. New Mexico versus Baylor. Now, New Mexico is one of the hottest teams in the country for my research. And if we look at KenPom, they are 22nd overall, 11 seed, 22nd. An 11 seed should be like 44th if we're going based off the seeding, because there's one of each seed. They're 22nd. They're the 42nd best offense, 22nd best defense. I like New Mexico a lot, and I think a lot of people are. So if you want to be different, maybe go with Clemson, maybe go with Baylor. Baylor's probably the pick, because I feel like New Mexico is going to be a popular upset pick, but I'm going to do it. We're going to have an 11 seed moving on to the Sweet 16 to take on Arizona. Should we do it? Should we do it? And by the way, New Mexico is the team with Jalen House. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you might have seen the clip of the guy getting interviewed with the crazy voice. That's Jalen House. So that is this team. You got Jamal Mashburn. There's going to be a big game here versus Caleb Love and Omar Ballo. I mean, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to move on. New Mexico. We got a weird one in this Sweet 16. Alabama taking on New Mexico. But you got to have some matchups like that. Maybe this is a little too crazy. You know, maybe it's better to go like this, or maybe it's better to just go like this, you know, have a 4-2, but we're gonna get crazy here. Up here, a little crazy. We had BYU going on a run, but we're gonna do this, and we're gonna have Alabama getting hot in the tournament and moving on to our Final Four, moving up to the South. How long have I been recording? All right, this video might end up being, you know, close to 30 minutes, but we'll try to speed it up here. We'll try to speed it up. Houston over Longwood. Then in the next one, 8-9 game, we're going to go with Nebraska over Texas A&M. And I believe Texas A&M just beat Kentucky. I believe, yeah. I was watching that game and I was getting a little worried about Kentucky, because Kentucky's a team I like a lot. But at least for Kentucky, you're getting that, you know, that loss out of the way. A&M went on a run in their tournament and ended up losing to Florida. But I don't know. This is a weird one. Is A&M going to win? Possibly, but regardless, you probably end up losing to Houston. We'll just move Houston on right now. So we're gonna do that. Wisconsin, JMU. A lot of people have James Madison winning this one. A lot of people do. I'm not gonna do it. And also, that's an interesting strategy. I feel like when there's a popular upset pick, you know, if it really makes sense, yeah, you could go with it. But if there's one that's kind of close, or maybe doesn't make sense to you, then fade it, because a lot of people's brackets are going to lose off of that pick. And Wisconsin is, you know, in my opinion, and of course, you know, based on the experts, based on the seeding, just the better team. So we're going to go with Wisconsin here. I think a lot of people are going to have James Madison. I've even seen people have them go all the way as far as, you know, the Sweet 16. I haven't seen anyone have them beating Houston though, but I've seen that pick. We're going to go with Wisconsin. Duke is a team I like a lot. Some people have said Vermont's pretty good, and this could be a little upset right here. But Duke, I mean, that's probably the team that I know the most about, the most players, you know, with Caleb Foster, Tyrese Proctor, my guy Jared McCain, Mark Mitchell, Filipowski. I think I'm missing one, but yeah, I don't know. I'm missing one guy, but regardless, you know, Jeremy Roach, yeah. They got a lot of guys that I know a lot about, and they've been here. Yeah, no, Filipowski was in it last year. I was going to say, is this his first year? No, I think he was in it last year as well, March Madness. But this just, to me, feels like a tournament team. A lot of people have Duke losing early, but to me, this feels like a good March Madness team. They have that vibe to them. Again, I'm not a big name guy. So when there's a team with a guy that everyone's talking about, I feel like they usually go out pretty early. I feel like they do. But with this team, I don't even know who the big name is. I mean, I feel like it's Jared McCain. Maybe it's Philip. I don't know. They have a lot of names, but I like them. I like this team to beat those allegations with, you know, the big name players and those teams going out kind of early. Texas Tech, NC State. This is a weird one. NC State, you know, a lot of people didn't expect them to get here, but they ended up winning their tournament, beat Duke and UNC, and we will be going with Texas Tech. This is one that I switched. I had NC State winning originally, but I think Texas Tech's the better team, and so we will be doing that. Kentucky over Oakland. I don't see Oakland winning this. To be honest, don't know much about them, but I like Kentucky a lot. Kentucky has a lot of guys You know what I'm saying? Antonio Reeves, Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepard. They got a lot of scorers, okay? Kentucky's going to be a scary team. Florida versus Boise or Colorado. I think it's probably going to be Colorado from what I've seen. And we're going to ride them. We're going to go with them. I've seen a lot of people go with Florida going pretty far, but I mean, this would be straight up chalk, and that's not going to happen. I've also seen some people with the Western Kentucky upset. Out of all the 2 to 15 games, this is the one I think is most popular. So we might see that. Some people are predicting that, but we will go with Marquette. Marquette's a team that a lot of people were high on last year, and you know, how far? I don't think they went too far. Yeah, Marquette lost in the second round of Michigan State right here. Should be on the screen. So I don't know. I think they'll bounce back. We have Marquette going a little farther. Then we're gonna go with Kentucky. I like Kentucky a lot. We're gonna go with Duke over Houston. I'm a big Duke guy. I don't know. That's one of those polarizing fan bases. I'm not a Duke fan, but I like some of the guys in their team. Filipowski. You know, I'm not going to say why I like him because that's a little bit personal. And now it sounds weird, but I do have some ties to Filipowski, which we're not going to get into. Okay, yeah, now it's really sounding weird. But yeah, I don't know him like personally or anything like that, so don't think that. But we're going to go with Kentucky with the upset to set up a iconic Duke versus Kentucky, two of the best teams, you know, in college basketball history. And who do I have winning this? Two teams that really feel like March Madness teams to me. Like, I'm not just saying the team and the brand or whatever, the name. Obviously, they're March Madness teams. But this year, I mean, these are real two teams. Like, Duke's got like 6 real solid guys. Kentucky's got 3 or 4 real solid guys. I mean, we got a lot of NBA potential players in this matchup. This game is like, you gotta watch it. This is must watch, and we are gonna go with Kentucky over Duke. Do I like that a lot? I don't know. Don't love it, but I'm gonna lean Kentucky here. Now we got the last region. We got Purdue with the 7-4 center, Zach Edey. We will have them beating a 16 seed. Of course, last year they lost to Fairleigh Dickinson, and I got completely memed for it on TikTok. We're not doing that. I mean, it could happen. It could happen. I don't think Grambling's gonna win. So I forget what team this is. Montana State. I don't know. But I think it's gonna be this team, not Grambling. But yeah, we're gonna go Purdue here. Then we have an 8-9 where we will be going with TCU. Gonzaga McNeese. A lot of people are saying Gonzaga is a little misseeded. They probably should have been more like a 7 or an 8. Potentially. And McNeese is a team that a lot of people are high on. They have Shahada Wells, who I'm hearing a lot of good things about. Have I watched him play? Maybe I've seen, you know, clips. I haven't watched a full game of McNeese ever play. I mean, who's really doing that? McNeese? Who do they even play against? Like, bro, Louisiana, Texas A&M, Louisiana Tech, Texas State, Western Carolina. Like, you know, if I'm gonna watch college games, it's not McNeese, but we will be going with the upset here, 12 versus 5. And this is a very popular upset pick. So if you want to fade this upset, then do it. Go with Gonzaga because that's probably what's going to be right. But we're going to get crazy. We're going to go with McNeese. Kansas over Samford. Hunter Dickinson is a beast. And Kansas, I don't know. They're not looking too strong this year. They are coming off some losses here against top teams like BYU, Baylor, and Houston. But I think against Samford, they do get the win. South Carolina and Oregon. This is one that I've been flip-flopping back and forth on. I will go with the upset and go with Oregon. I want to say they have a really good offense, if I remember. Where is Oregon going to be on this list? Did I pass them already? And by the way, when you're looking at this, look at the teams that are in red, like the red teams, because here's Oregon. The white teams or whatever, the blue is not in March Madness. Yeah, Oregon 51 on offense, 70 on defense. I don't know. This is one that could go either way. I'm going to go with Oregon. Creighton's a team that I low-key like a lot. They have Baylor Shireman, I mean. And he's a beast. I remember him from, I believe, last year. And I don't know. I like Creighton. Texas, Colorado State. We're going to go with Texas. And then we will go with Tennessee. We'll start down here. Texas and Tennessee. This is a close one. I will lean with Tennessee. Oregon, Creighton. We're going to go with Creighton again. I like them a lot. And we'll put Creighton past Tennessee. We're gonna ride Creighton here a little bit. Dalton, this guy I saw Underdog had a little special with him or something. I've never seen him play, but I'm excited to watch him play in the tournament. This would be a really good game. Creighton, Tennessee, if it does happen. Then we have McNeese and Kansas. Do we want to ride on McNeese and go for this Cinderella run? Let's do it. We're going to put McNeese through. And Purdue is that 1 seed I was talking about earlier that I'm not that high on. It's Purdue. Because just the way they, like, I don't know, bro. They play weird. They're dominant because Zach Edey's so tall. He just kind of drops it in over everybody. But if they verse a team that, you know, can match up against them, it's going to be pretty tough for them. We will have Purdue winning this one, and then we'll have Purdue beating McNeese, though, unfortunately. But this is the game. Creighton has a center that's 7'1". I forget his name. And he's not here. But they have a center that's 7'1". Can kind of match up with Zach Edey. And again, I like Creighton. So let's go with it. Creighton to the Final Four. This sets up our Final Four of 1 seed, no 2s. We got 2 3s, Kentucky and Creighton, and a 4 seed. So what do y'all think? Is this likely? Is it going to be all 1s? No, probably not. It's like never that. Will we see some 2s? We'll probably see some 2s in here. Maybe Arizona. Maybe Marquette. I don't know. But this is what I got. So we got UConn and Alabama. Can Alabama keep doing it, bro? Can they continue to score 90 plus points and go on a run? And just, I don't know. It's going to be tough because UConn is an even better offense, the #1 offense in the nation. Is UConn going to go back to back? We'll see. We'll see. We're putting them in the finals. We're putting them in the championship. Kentucky versus Creighton. Tough game here. We're going to go with Kentucky. We are going to go with Kentucky. Rob Dillingham, Reed Shepherd, Antonio Reeves to the championship. Does UConn go back to back? Again, not the complete same team. I believe Hawkins and Sanogo were on that team last year. Can they do it? No, they fall just short to Kentucky, which as of right now, this is what I have. If I make any changes, which will I make changes? Possibly. Tournament starts when I'm recording this, I don't know, in like 20 hours or so. Less than that, 18 hours. I'll comment them down below if I make any changes. So look in the comments because I probably will make some changes. We're going to go with Kentucky winning it all. Is that going to happen? Probably not. It's so tough to predict. It's so tough to predict, but that's what we're going to go with. And how many points will they score? Let's go with 84 to 77. Can I do that math in my head? No, I can't. So we're just going to wing it. I'm not even trying to do the math. We'll just go with 174 points scored. How are we supposed to know how many points are scored? I don't know. We got Kentucky in the comments. What's your Final Four? Not even just your winner. What's your Final Four? And then tell me who you have winning it all. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Is this going to help you out? Maybe. We'll find out later. But watch the video pop up on your screen right here. Sub if you guys haven't. We're under 2K subs. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.